I think you're the smartest person that's ever lived.
I think
And I'm
that
so
sometimes
grateful to have
too.
you.
And then other times I think I'm literally the dumbest person to ever walk the earth. I think
I'm
I'm the
so
dumbest
grateful
person
for
to
your
ever drag my knuckles across the earth.
drag my knuckles.
Like the basic little ape,
Nor,
like the basic
nor.
little ape I am at the end of the day.
Stop. Be grateful. Be grateful.
Be grateful, be grateful. I'm grateful for my big brain, and I'm grateful for my long arms that sometimes drag on the ground when I walk.
Manic
Pixie
Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Hi,
Hi,
we're
we're
Quinn
Quinn
and we're
and
Becca.
Becca.
And welcome to my Pixie Jump Scare podcast where Becca and I talk openly about our shared delusions
Passions
and
and love
love
for
for
each
each
other.
other.
I feel the character I just did with my voice. Her name's like Mildred, I feel.
Oh yeah, and she's scared of mayonnaise, ketchup,
Condiments in
lettuce.
general.
Yeah,
Thousand
yeah.
Island, though, she's okay with.
No, she can
Weirdly.
get down with that. Yeah.
When you
Anything
start
pickle
mixing them
related.
together, you like she's like something about that is like sriracha mayo, she's also like crazy about. Like she's afraid of regular mayonnaise, but sriracha mayo, she's like, oh my God, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
because the spice takes her back to childhood.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, great character. Write that down.
Write that
Anyway.
down for the next special, guys.
Exactly.
Since we're now
Yeah,
expanding the universe of this damn show.
literally. We can't stop having specials.
I
Well,
know.
with special characters.
And guys, already I
Um,
need to say there hasn't been enough critical praise of the gift of the jump scare so far for my taste.
I know
For my
people,
taste, Becca and I did something really great. Like
it's inventive. It's
Becca and I did
fun.
something really great. We did something subversive. We did something
Mm-hmm.
new with the
Mm-hmm.
form. And I haven't seen people really start to pick up on that yet. And that's something that's
Yeah,
starting to bother me.
it's scaring me a bit.
Um,
Um,
but yeah.
but here's an opportunity for you guys to go listen again.
Yes.
Really implant in your brains how unique it is.
And really only the 12 minutes in which at Chris Kringle 12 was it
12. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wrote into us because that's really
Yeah,
the meat of the special.
absolutely.
And that's where things take a little bit of a magical turn.
Mm-hmm. You could
Um,
say. Yeah.
but yeah,
Well, so this is a regular episode. Sorry to everyone who
I
maybe
know.
thought it was another special,
No more
but
specials for a while.
that's what makes specials special. They are special.
Now you know I'm not so special.
Anyway, so yeah, so this is gonna be a regular episode, which of course we have to start by catching up. And Quinn, what the hell even?
Oh my
What's been
God.
going on?
Well, it's the holidays. The holidays is very famously kind of like a slow time of the year. Um, but also kind of fast at the same time. It's weird. Time's a flat
Yeah,
circle ultimately.
yeah.
But since we had the special last week, we didn't get to do a traditional kind of catch up. And so
Mm-hmm.
something that happened between, when we filmed like our last regular episode and now, so I actually turned 22, guys. It's so scary.
How can a person know everything in 18 and nothing at 22?
Literally, those of you that follow me on Instagram got to see some childhood pictures of me set to that
Mm-hmm.
song, as well as Lord's the Man with the Axe.
Whew.
And Taylor Swift's
Uh,
22. We got to do that as well. One of my favorite things for my
when
22nd birthday is I was driving somewhere and 22 like came on and I was like I took a
the
video of myself
sign.
on Snapchat and I was just like straight faced like and I just put the caption it's happening. um but yeah, my
uh,
22nd birthday was actually kind of a smash.
okay,
Big
Slay.
shout out to my friend Mara, who does listen to the podcast. Um,
Thank you.
because she organized like a whole like birthday for me because she reached out and she was like, would you want to go to brunch on your birthday?
Oh, brunch
And I
any
was
day?
like,
Yeah,
brunch any day of
actually.
the week, but my birthday especially? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because we have this little contingent in of like some of our friends from high school called the Ladies Who Brunch.
Perfect.
And so we brunch together sometimes. And so she was like, Ladies Who Brunch, Quinn's birthday edition. And so I was like, oh my God, such a Slayer idea.
Mhm.
Um, and so it was like a complete surprise. So she was just like, oh, well, just like meet me at my house at 10 and we can drive and pick up our friends. The brunch was going to be in Philadelphia. And our friends kind of live
Oh,
between
wow.
where Mara lives and Philly. So I drove to Mara's house and I didn't know, like, I didn't even ask where we were going. I was like, I want to be surprised. So we pick up my friends Kat and Annie, who also went. Kat
Mm-hmm.
is a podcast listener, very famously
Mm-hmm.
posted the gift of the jump scare
Mm-hmm.
on her feed, which, like, guys, you can post the podcast episodes on your feed too. Like that, you
It should
have
be
that
a standard,
functionality.
actually.
You have that
Yeah. Yeah.
functionality on all my Spotify listeners out there, which there are a lot of you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
see. Um, you can totally
Analytically.
post it on your story. It's totally allowed and legal.
Mm-hmm.
Even Obama was gagging. And
I heard we were
so,
on that list, I heard.
oh my,
Yeah. Yeah.
Becca, that's something you need to work on this week, editing us
Yeah,
into
you're right.
Obama's year end. Oh my God. But anyway,
Perfect.
so we pick up our friends Kat and Annie, and then we park and we're walking through the neighborhood, and I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? And
Mm-hmm.
then it dawns upon me that we're going to drag brunch. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what day of the week was your birthday?
It was a Sunday.
Oh, incredible,
So
actually.
what are you actually supposed to do on a Sunday birthday except for go to brunch? Yeah, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was wondering. That's what I was
Exactly.
wondering. Yeah.
And so yeah, and it was so weird because I was like, how did I not think of this actually?
Thank
And
God it was
so
presented to you on a silver platter from Mara.
yes, we also so shout out to Mara. She organized all that. Amazing, amazing gift. And we got to see 5 queens perform. It was actually my first time going to drag brunch.
I've never been.
I'm more of a nighttime consumer of drag artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in my own, I've been to a lot of drag shows, but they're all at night because by Sunday morning I'm not ready to get up. Um, and
Fair enough.
so yeah, but it was really fun. I had 3 mimosas. um,
Whoa.
Mimosas are so good. I feel like mimosas are such an underrated drink. Like I feel like we do talk about them a lot in society, but not nearly enough is the thing.
Unfortunately, I've never been able to have one.
Oh, too much sugar.
Yeah, orange juice is like I only really can drink that if I'm having an emergency low blood sugar.
Yeah.
So unless we can find like no sugar added orange juice, which frankly I would find disgusting.
A sugar. You
So
don't
I
like
don't
orange
know.
juice?
I mean, like, sure, but what was that?
It's the
Whoa.
light outside my
Oh, it looked
window.
like a orb.
Yeah. Guys, there's
The
an orb in the screen.
aliens
Ooh.
are back. The aliens are back. Okay. Hopefully the signal stays good. But I like oranges.
Naranja.
I don't know how to answer this. I don't know. We'll have to see.
But
We'll have to
anyway,
see.
yeah, I like a mimosa. I also tried a cranberry mimosa on Christmas Day, and it was good too. So, because I didn't know that was a thing until recently. Anyway.
I'm really curious, actually, really quick. So
Uh-huh.
most women's like attachment to cranberry juice is cramp related.
Uh-huh.
Like it's supposed to get rid of cramps, right?
Uh-huh.
To you, is it just like an enjoyable beverage with no
Yes. Mm-hmm. I
wow?
don't drink straight
Thing.
cranberry juice. I caught it with club soda.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Fascinating,
Like a can
actually.
of club soda and then like some cranberry juice is a really good drink. To me. And that I just drink that because
Okay.
my parents drink it, and I tried it one time and I was like, that's actually delightful. Um, and so
Wow.
yeah, I literally made that drink
Hmm,
for myself yesterday. So,
nice,
a little mocktail.
if you
Um,
will.
I have wanted to experiment with putting alcohol in it because I'm not somebody like I haven't been so like concerned as to like start drinking like vodka sodas or like tequila sodas, even though that is kind of like the best thing you can drink for like calorie wise and like not consuming like mass amounts of sugar wise when you're out to a bar.
Hmm.
But then the whole taste thing is like a whole other factor. But I think maybe if I did like a vodka soda with cranberry juice, like that would kind of like help the cause a little bit, you know?
Or you could be like me and get a vodka water and just put 10 lime juices in it.
The vodka water is something that is so interesting to me about you. The double vodka water. Do you not? Are you somebody who like hates seltzer?
I do actually like seltzer.
Mm,
It kind of depends though.
mm. Like my
'Cause
one friend Corey just
mm,
like hates seltzer, like any
no, I like
seltzer.
bubbly stuff. I
Oh,
like bubbly
but you
stuff.
like White Claws.
I like White Claws. I love a gin and tonic.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if gin and tonic is tonic water even bubbly.
I don't know what tonic water is really, to be
Me
honest.
neither,
If
but I
anybody
like it.
knows and like wants to write something
Comment
to
below.
us,
Perfect comment corner.
perfect tonic water. Because like I realized I could look up what tonic water is, but the thing about me is I won't remember.
No
Actually
wanna.
when I'm
No
editing this,
wanna.
I'll probably be like, oh, let me look that up. Anyway. But yeah, it was really fun. Two highlights from drag
Yay.
brunch is so this drag brunch, like they came up and like greeted us. I don't know if it's like a regular thing at drag brunches, but like all the queens in the cast came up and like personally like greeted our table, which was really fun.
Aw.
And this one queen walks up and like doesn't say like hi, like doesn't like do anything, like not in like a rude way, just in like she came up with something else to say. But this other
Mhm.
queen was at our table, and this queen comes up. She's like bald and she's wearing a full ass nightgown with like a like smoky eyes. She kind of looks like sickening. Um,
Whoa.
and she's like walking up and she holds her hand out to the one of the other drag queens standing at our table and goes, "See this bruise on my hand? It's from cocking a gun last night."
Oh.
And that was like the quote of drag, and I've been saying it ever since. If I
That's
get
so
bored
fascinating.
or if I need something to say, I'll just go, "You see this bruise on my hand?" Um, but yeah, and then during the actual performances, well, I did compete in a twerk off for a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I tied for the win. I think it was because it was two people's birthday. So, but
Okay.
anyway, um, but there was this one queen. It was obviously Christmas themed because my birthday's near Christmas.
Hmm.
Um, and there was this one queen who during her second number, so like the second set, she literally walked out onto the street, like because the bar like goes right onto a street. She like walked out on the street and did like a cartwheel, like in the middle of the street. It was so fierce. And she did it like a couple times. Like it was so because also during the last
Oh
number
my
she went out
God.
there, it was so like it was next level. I was like, oh my God, that's one of my favorite things I've ever seen, actually.
That's crazy. But I also
Um,
can't even imagine actually how cold it was.
it wasn't that cold yet. Christmas,
Okay.
guys, where Becca and I live, because we live in approximately like kind of the same weather area. Christmas, I think it was actually 2 days before Christmas that was like the worst, and Christmas
It
Eve was
was too,
also really bad
yeah.
because like we were my family was watching the Eagles game and we were all like this, like guys.
My car door froze at work, and my coworker's car door handle just broke off when she tried to open her door, and she had to
Oh
Uber home.
no.
No, yeah, it was crazy
Oh my
actually.
God.
Sick and twisted. Sick
My car
and
almost
twisted.
didn't start. Like my like
Yeah.
when you turn on your car and it's like you're like,
She's like,
oh. Ms. Berta was giving very much that.
yeah.
Yeah, my house also needs new windows. That does not help the cause because literally, like the back half of our house, like the wind was like hitting the back half of our house, and so if you were sitting anywhere like in the back half, you were just like freezing.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
cold in my
guys,
house actually to this day.
it was dark sided actually. It's gotten better.
Yeah.
No, because now I feel like it's like now that it's like back to like a normal winter temperature, I go outside and I'm like, oh, this is
It's
delightful
so
actually.
warm. No,
Like,
literally.
no, like
I'm toasty up.
yeah. And also something about the winter, like when the sun is like really strong and like it makes your car really hot.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway. But that was kind of my birthday.
Yay.
And it's very fun. I've been so scared ever since, actually. Just
I
because, guys,
know.
it's like
22.
actually, not like I just realized that this is such maybe such the reason this year or not this year, but this time of the year always feels so weighty is
Mhm.
because like all the stuff happens like now, like all these new beginnings happen like for me specifically at this time.
So
Because like
short, yeah.
my birthday. And
Mhm.
then 3 days later, what do we have? The winter solstice,
Oh,
which is also a
yeah.
very charged day.
Yeah, a
And then
portal, you could say.
literally, and then what? A week and a half later, we have the new year.
Yeah, that
So
is a lot
yeah, it's just a very like that's something I'm realizing this year. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like stuff this time, both like,
energetically.
physical and
Energetically.
metaphysical, that makes this an energetically very like charged time.
Yeah, totally get that.
And so that's helping me to cope with all my feely wheelies.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, now if I still feel this way next June, we're gonna have to find another way to rationalize it. But anyway, um,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and yeah. Also, I was talking to Becca about this, but my friend Corey has been in town.
Mhm.
He came and spent Christmas with my family, which is really fun. He also listens occasionally, or not occasionally. He listens consistently. I was
Thank you,
talking to him about
Corey.
his listening patterns because he's like, oh, like some weeks I won't catch the episode, and then like some weeks I'll listen to it. And I was like, that's weird to me because like I'm always trying to like catch up on my podcasts.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I'm
Well,
a completionist, like at heart.
yeah, like it feels like missing an episode in a season of TV,
Yeah, like you
you
can't put
know?
all the pieces together. But some people
Yeah.
watch TV like that.
Well, that's true. Psychotic, I think.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyways, but yeah, it's been really nice because it's like a lot. I don't know if you feel this way. I actually wanted to get your opinion on this because you are also famously one of two children. But I think it might
Yeah.
be different for you because of your family dynamic. But do you find it nice to like have somebody to bounce off of when you're at home?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Because you all, I realize it must also be different because your parents like aren't together anymore, obviously.
Right?
And so there's not that same like dynamic. But like I kept thinking about like, oh, if I didn't have Corey here, then like nobody would be here because my brother didn't come home for the holidays this year. And I was like, that would have been a little tough.
Oh.
Just because like not like because it's just nice to have somebody your age to like bounce off of. Not because like anything specifically my parents have done or anything, but like I don't know,
Hmm.
there is something to that of like having somebody else around.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
Comforting.
it must be what it feels like to be an only child. Y'all are under a lot of pressure, only children out there.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. I couldn't deal with that personally.
Yeah, and maybe that's it because I've just been part of like a two-child dynamic my whole life that I'm just like
Hmm.
I can't stand to be alone or not.
What's your brother doing?
He like got set up with his new job, and so he just started his new job, so he can't really like take time off. So
Oh, he can't handle the pressure of it.
what do you mean? Oh yeah,
I was American
it's fucked
American
up.
top model quoting.
It's
Yeah,
fucked up. He has to
no.
miss one of his friends' wedding. Like one of his friends are getting married on. He was
Uh,
supposed to be in the wedding, and his friends are getting married on like near New Year's, and he
oh
can't
my
go home
God.
for it.
Is it a corporate job?
No,
Okay.
he's caddying, but it's like a really it's like a busy week for
Prestigious?
them in the year.
Okay. Well, good
And
on
I
him.
assume since it is the holidays, many other people have taken off who worked there longer than him and were able to get like conflicts in and stuff. And so,
Mm.
yeah, guys.
Great point.
Anyway,
Sacrifices. Sacrifices.
um, but yeah, it's been nice to have my friend in town.
Hmm.
But Becca,
Yeah.
what is even going on with you?
Hmm. Well, I will tell a little tale from my Christmas,
Okay, I would love to hear it.
which was, well, it was nice. Also, my brother actually came home from Arizona, so he's been around.
Yes, I was about to
So
ask
it's
about
been
Evan.
nice.
Evan
So I,
Hobart, one of the ultimate enigmas.
yeah, no one knows anything about him, including me.
You didn't
He's
even know he
so
was coming home. He
interesting.
just showed up.
Yeah, boom. Oh,
Oh,
hi.
oh, hey guy.
Whoa.
Hey,
Who's that
dude.
man in my
What are you
house? Hey,
doing?
dude. Hey, dude. Um, no, but he's staying at my dad's, and I've been staying at my mom's recently, so I'm still not really seeing him much, but that's fine.
Mm,
They do live a mile away, after all, so it's not too far.
But guys, when you're in
Um,
suburbia, a mile is like a really far distance, actually.
yeah, it's hard. It's like takes like a minute and a half to drive there.
I know. And you're like, well, it's like too long to walk. Guys, actually, we need to establish that like when something's too long to walk but too short to drive, you just can't go there.
It's humiliating.
Yeah. Like I always said, like Craig Street in Pittsburgh is a great example in North Oakland.
Craig Street.
Over on Carnegie Mellon's campus, there's like that bookstore
Yeah.
there. Like,
Except I would walk there because my nail lady was there.
oh, see, you had like a specific reason.
Yeah, I
And
had
that lady did
to.
your nails so good, so you had
Yeah,
to,
you're right.
.
I had to
And
book it.
so, but like for me, who didn't have any business over there, it was like I never went over there because it's like too short to like get in my car and drive, but
Hmm.
also like too long to like walk like the 15-20 minutes it would be. And so
Yeah,
just wouldn't
it's
go.
good. Yeah. Well, I did also
Anyway.
used to go to that Starbucks sometimes when Starbucks was giving employees a free drink and a free food every day. And I used to sneak on over to that one and also get a second free drink and free food every day, which I've been told explicitly was not allowed, but that's okay.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares?
Unionize. Who gives a care? I don't work there anymore. Um,
But yeah. So
but
anyway, what was
anyways,
happening at
so
Christmas?
yeah, on Christmas. So cousin Ryan is obviously a big, big character in the podcast
A
realm.
theme,
Theme, a
a
running theme.
motif.
Motif, a life lesson, if you will. And yeah, actually, so okay. So my aunt is kind of protective over Ryan because one of her two children, yada yada. So she was like, okay, guys, this time at Christmas, we're not gonna play um any other games other than the game left, right, center,
Oh,
which are you're familiar?
I've never played Left, Right, Center. We do have a
Okay.
set of it that's been sitting in my family's living room because it randomly came home with the things my dad took when my grandfather died. And so
Perfect. Perfect. A
like my
fairly
grandfather
heirloom.
just had yeah, one of my family heirlooms from my grandfather is
A
a
mint
left,
condition.
right. I wouldn't call it min.
An old dusty vintage.
Shout out to
Left, right,
Bob.
center.
But anyway,
You could probably sell that on
um
Depop for like $50. Just saying. But
I do have this. I would never sell this because I think it's so cute. But one thing my dad did give me from my grandfather is he had a little bank that's like a USPS like blue postal box that's sitting on my
aw,
dresser right now. And I put his little funeral prayer card in the thing.
aw,
Um so yeah.
that's so cute.
Yeah. Anyway, left, right,
Wow.
center, cousin
Yeah.
Ryan.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Me
Because
finding new and inventive ways to make Becca's story about me.
no, no,
Dead
no.
grandfather.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada freaking bow.
Anyway.
And so I had said to him, I said, ma'am, but so, but because apparently every other game starts too much drama. Well, it was not to my surprise that somehow drama was found in left, right, center because, and I do blame Aunt D in some reasons because she upped the stakes. She said, we're not going to play with our silly little tokens or coins. We're going to play with real
Put money.
dollars.
We're putting money in it.
Exactly. So the winner
So
has a
Aunt
chance
D.
to win up to $30. Yeah, Aunt D.
Oh my Aunt D. Aunt D. We need
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
first of all, anytime you gamify anything,
It's going to be competitive
it's
and
going to be
there's going to be
competitive, and that's
drama.
drama.
Mhm.
Competition is inherently dramatic. Like,
Yeah, it's something I've learned from
why do you think
every
the only
reality
thing that's
TV
on
show.
TV is like game shows? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So I think she knew what she was doing deep inside her in her
and then you're gonna get money
subconscious.
involved, which is another
Oh,
thing.
that reality TV has taught me is really dramatic, is adding
Also, babe,
money.
we're in America. What is this country about? This,
Moolah.
yeah, mula,
It's
dinero.
true. It's true.
And so you're now making people crazy.
You drive me loca.
That's
Okay.
what I would say to Aunt D so far.
Okay.
We'll see what
Well,
she does from here.
she remained a good player, fair, and honestly, she did not try to defend Ryan throughout this. Basically, We were playing and everything was normal. And then Ryan started being like, ha ha ha, you guys are getting out so fast. Hee hee ha, I'm gonna win. And so
Oh,
of course, automatically,
heuristic.
yeah, because of everyone's history with Ryan, everyone then starts gunning for Ryan. It's just so easy. He makes himself a target by being so annoying in competitions. It's just true. So we all start like kind of ganging up on him. You can't really in left, right, center because it's totally luck based.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we're all like rooting for him to lose because he's being so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucker ends up winning.
Oh my God.
And he literally grabs all the money, like takes it and is like, fuck you guys.
He's
Like, I
voguing.
won. I won. He pussy popped all over the kitchen floor. It was
He's
crazy.
doing
Like
dips and flips.
dips and flips and tricks. And then we're like, okay, Ryan, well, we're gonna play another game. Like, do you want to give back like some of the money, some of the dollars, so we can play again?
No.
And he literally goes, no. And I had to look him in the eyes and say, Ryan, it is Christmas Eve. Have you ever watched A Christmas Carol? Let this be a lesson to you all. I was like, you're not going to share the money on Christmas Eve? On Christmas Eve, you're not going to share the money?
Uh-huh.
And he literally refused until finally he took $9, gave the rest back, and then set up a game. I
I
think
like
he
how
twisted our
9, like
minds. Yeah, yeah, interesting, right?
an interesting amount of money.
This is also an interesting point. Then his ex-girlfriend, who was there, because one time he was straight.
Okay, that was what I was like.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I had to like take a second.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
It's crazy.
because now everything I think about him is wrong. But
Yeah.
okay, so now everything
But
I
you
think
were
about
right.
him is like
He
back to
was
being
right.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. His ex-girlfriend won the rest of the money, but she was really nice about it, so we let her keep it. But he still screamed at us, fuck you guys, the alliance has won. So now
Ryan's playing
I
chess and y'all are playing checkers. He's playing
he
chess and y'all are
is
playing left, right, center.
he is somehow 2 steps ahead but 3 steps behind.
Yeah.
But basically I say all this to say Ryan was very much in his Scrooge era. He very much is always in his Scrooge era, in my opinion.
Dang.
So I will be accepting comment corners for ways to sabotage and or get back to him. Get get back to him. Give me ways to reach out to him.
Mm,
No, but I feel like I don't know. Stealing his money is too obvious.
yeah. I've really been trying to understand the idea of like a psychic attack. I know we joke about it on this podcast,
Mm,
but like most things in my life, it starts as a joke, but then it becomes a thing I believe.
right?
And like now I'm trying to think less negatively because I'm like I fear I may be inadvertently sending like psychic attacks. And like something I know about myself is that I am divinely protected, and so I imagine the psychic attacks I send must be powerful.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think about this a lot, Quinn, actually, because
I
I
fear
want
the
to be a
same thing
being
could
of love
happen to
and
you
light.
too.
No,
Yeah.
I know, because I think we are cut from the same divine cloth.
Uh-huh, exactly.
Um, and oh, it's a little scary to think. Yeah, every time I get really angry, which in my head is so often,
Uh-huh.
um, am I really gonna ruin that person's day and or life
Yeah.
and or life
I fear I
path?
have the power to do that, but I can't like it's something you can't harness. It's like, you don't want to
I
harness
willed
it
it.
because I would never want to use my powers for evil.
Right.
Even though sometimes it seems enticing, the way y'all be testing me.
Oh.
The royal y'all. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
but
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
How can we get back at cousin Ryan? Um, for being a little Scrooge. Well, we of course have our friend Carla.
Yeah.
She could
She
definitely
could
do
do
some.
some damage. No, you want to talk about psychic attack?
You want to talk about somebody who is divinely protected?
In so many ways. So many ways,
Carla might
actually.
dictate divine protection in a way. I wouldn't be surprised if she had a hand in the process, actually, of when it's all decided.
She is Judgment Day.
You know.
Love her, love her, love her.
Love Carla, guys. Carla, thank you so much for coming into the studio last week too. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Wherever you are listening to this. Um, and
Kisses, kisses.
uh, but yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, the holidays are just like it's like I was having well, first of all, I watched the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas. First of all, I know we talked about that a couple times on the podcast, but like I can't overstate how much of like watching that movie gives me an out of body experience every time I do it now because like I think it might be the thing that is like the most nostalgic to me in my life. Like
Aw, how
because like I
sweet.
watch it and like I forget some of the scenes and I'm like, oh my God, that happens and that happens and that happens. And like every scene feels like, oh my God, like every scene
Yeah,
has that power over me. And so um but anyway, where was I
it's
going with
just
that?
so good. It's just so
Yeah. But
good.
anyway, it's also a genius movie. If you don't like How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000, like I don't know what to say to you at this point. But
You know
it's
what
just
my
like
brother betrayed me as though?
what?
He prefers the Grinch
2018?
2018.
Yeah, yeah.
What? Actually,
I've never seen, but I can't
I
imagine
saw it
that
in
being good.
theaters. I
I
saw
feel
it in
like
theaters, I will say.
I feel like something
It
about
wasn't good.
me. No, I feel like something about me. Any Grinch I watch at this point will never like
Supersede that.
compare. I
Yeah.
I also said this week I'm like, oh, shot for shot remake of How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000, but I'm the Grinch. But like
Perfect.
no, but I don't even think I could improve upon what Jim Carrey did. Like I'm so in awe of that performance, and that's rare for me to say. Like to say that somebody
Yeah.
did something better than I could ever hope to do it. Like that's rare
Because
coming from me.
I'm so amazing, incredible.
Exactly. Also the Grinch like informed who I am a lot. Like I was watching that and I'm like, he's so me coded. Like I'm so Grinch
Aw.
coded. Like one of my
I'm
favorite
so
lines from watching the
excited.
movie this time is when he's like going over his agenda for Christmas Eve and like trying to come up with the reasons why he can't go to the Jubilee. And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
Shaw of Wild Hunger, tell
Okay.
no one.
Tell no one. That is probably my favorite line ever.
um uh but anyway.
Also, when he pulls the thing from under the table and then he has to run back and knock everything off the table.
Yes. I
I
noticed that
love
one
that
this
part
time too.
so
Oh my
so
God.
much.
No. But anyway, I think it's just the Grinch, I guess where I was going with this is the Grinch speaks to this in a way, but there's just so much like pressure around the holidays.
Yeah,
And like I feel like if everybody just like calm down, like just a skosh, because I
it
feel
would
like
be
it's just
fine.
again, it's just like the like things only have the power you give them to a certain extent, and I feel like that is very much the holidays.
Yeah.
Like if we all didn't like freak out so much about the holidays, they'd probably be so much less dramatic. But it is because we all like freak out so much about them and spend so much time thinking about them that they become like this thing that are like, you know, that feels so unmanageable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think you're right.
Anyway. And so, but I was watching The Grinch, and of course, what is seminal to The Grinch, but Where Are You Christmas?
Where
Um,
are you,
and it's all about Cindy.
Christmas?
I really related to Cindy Lou Who when I watched this Grinch viewing because I'm like, has Christmas changed or have I?
Oh,
Like, what is going on here? Um, yeah.
scary to think
Anyway,
about.
kind of
The
segues into
holidays.
our topic for today. But anyway, before we get to that, Becca, anything else to update us on?
Oh yeah, I mean, I do have that one little bullet point, which is
Oh
basically
yeah,
I am I have re-entered my iPad kid era
yeah.
where I spend all my time not at work on my little iPad
Mm-hmm.
using my iPad pen,
Sketching.
drawing, sketching, Pinteresting, if you will,
Yes.
Spotifying, mood boarding. My champagne has arrived. Thank you.
Yes.
Slay.
Slay. Becca and I are toasting. The toast.
Cheers,
Clink,
girl.
clink.
The way mine's blurring out. Ah,
It's not in
okay.
focus.
It's perfect. Delicious, actually. My brute.
Trying
I
something new
got
for the
this for
last.
Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
Trying something new for the last show of the year.
Yeah. Drinking.
Yeah. So, what are you like particularly inspired by on your iPad right now?
Well, mostly I've been working on a lot of portfolio stuff for the little last bits of my grad school applications.
Oh my God.
And they want to
Soft launch of
see,
that on
yeah.
the actual
Yeah, guys.
program.
Sorry to trigger anyone who is
Grad school era
going through
incoming
the
for
same
Becca
thing.
Hobart, I fear.
Hopefully. Cross your fingies. Um, yeah.
And then I'll copy her and
Okay.
inevitably go to grad school myself.
Quinn, I want to go to the same grad school.
Oh my
Come, come,
God.
come, come, come. That would be the best. Oh my gosh. Aw, that made me so happy. Just thinking about it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
maybe. Who knows?
We'll see if I get him first. But so I've been doing a lot of, you know how I love my graphic design.
Uh-huh.
So I've been making a lot of like posters, like graphic design posters for like songs.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people do that on TikTok. So I was making stuff for the Florence and the Machine album.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much I just freaking doodle my day away.
Mm.
But it's so easy to get wrapped up like in a hunched over position
Uh-huh.
with my legs crisscrossed, just staring neck down into my iPad. I could do
Mm-hmm.
that. Hours go by and I don't even realize it.
Yeah.
And it hurts my body actually. Just the only
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I love
Yeah,
it.
it's honestly crazy how media can just like how we've just created these things so we can just spend all our time on
Yeah.
and like not get bored.
Yeah.
And find like other things boring. Um like it pains me how much I'm like not reading right now. But I can't like bring myself to read because like anything going on my phone is like more interesting. But it's also not at the
I
same
know.
time, you know?
No, yeah. It's crazy.
Like at least you're kind of like doing something. Like
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm just like it gets to like be 7 p.m. and I'm like, so what did I do today?
Yeah. It's
Um
bad. It's
yeah,
bad.
it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
existing, is what I'm starting to learn. Um
Well, Quinn, maybe that's something that we could, I don't know, like work on, like in, I don't know. What's that coming up? What is that? What is, oh, it's gonna be a new
yeah,
year.
the new year.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
2000, 2013. I'm really excited for it
I'm
actually.
so excited. Oh my gosh.
Well guys, let's not jump the gun here. Beck and I are gonna take a little break and we'll be right back to get into our topic for today.
Guys, I'm scared.
Um,
Perfect.
Betty, hi. Is that what you did?
Hi. Yeah.
Yes. I love that. No, I was quoting lines from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and my dad was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "What do you mean, actually?"
Why?
Um,
How could you say that to me?
isn't it darling? Completely handmade. Also, Molly Shannon as
So,
Cindy Lou Who's
yeah,
mother.
slid.
Anyway, like you got Molly Shannon playing like you got Molly Shannon in like deep supporting. That's how you know they're icons in the movie, actually. Anyway,
Because who could be above her, actually?
actually,
Oh,
yeah.
Christy Baranski.
And so anyway, but yeah, it's our last show of the year. Only a couple days left in the year when you're hearing this. Um,
Unchy.
and so I know in my life, I'm a very reflective person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, I've had my journaling practice this year, so that's allowed for a lot of reflection. But I feel like I've always been kind of like a very reflective person.
Okay.
And so I have kind of been taking this time like before Christmas and even into now, I've been taking the time to kind of like really think about like, because I don't know, for whatever reason, I obviously talked in the first segment about this being kind of a charged time and me realizing that. And so now I'm like, why don't I kind of lean into that? And like, I'm very much the person who's like, oh, why do you need to wait for something to like an arbitrary like day of like New Year's Day to like start something? But I'm also like, girl, if you need an arbitrary day, take it.
Use
Like,
it.
yeah.
Use
And so
it. It's a
I'm like,
tool.
let me step in to using an arbitrary day to like decide I'm gonna change my life.
Because you know what it
Um,
is? Corny.
yeah.
Quinn.
Oh my God. Also, guys,
Ah!
the amount of times I have said this week alone, oh, well, being corny is in after seeing something corny.
Astronomical, actually.
It's actually insane. And
Astronomical.
it helps me cope with the world a little bit. So
It's so much.
I
Life
thank
has
Becca
been
and myself for
easier.
giving me that gift.
So
Life
true.
has been so much easier since then. But I did want
Yeah.
to take today's episode to kind of talk about our 2022 and look
hmm
forward to 2023.
hmm
So, Becca, I guess I will start with asking you kind of what your relationship is to the new year, the new beginnings. Like, are you usually like a resolutions oriented person? Do
hmm
you
hmm
like, what's your whole deal?
Much like you, I feel like I am very reflective.
Mm.
The past few years, I do on New Year's Eve, I do a nice little journaling thing where I talk
Yas.
about my year and,
Mm-hmm.
and I also get to look at, because I've done this for a few years now, so I actually have some results that are interesting. But I do a
Oh.
tarot spread for myself at the beginning of each year for the year.
Yes, wait.
And it kind of slays, it kind of serves. And every single one I've done so far, I've found to be like really truthful in a lot of ways,
Yes.
especially with like months and how they correlate with themes. Like, I'm like, whoa,
Work.
yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
So proving I'm psychically always right.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. I just like I do love the new year. I am one of those people who that arbitrary thing like does really help me for a little bit.
New year, new me.
Me, exactly. But I can also admit when a year maybe it's not going to be my best year. Like
Mm.
2022, I knew it wasn't going to be all that.
Mm.
I knew it.
Yeah.
But just like I knew in 2014, this is my year. That is the last time I said that. I said this is my year in 2014. I was right. I was fucking right.
Uh-huh.
I am saying that about 2023. I feel it in my bones.
Really?
I feel it in my bones, babe.
Oh my God.
Golden year. Golden year for me, I think. That's
Oh
why.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think that way about
Oh,
it. Like I've never gone into a year being like, now this is my year. Um,
it's ultimate corny, Quinn. You're missing out,
yeah,
I
maybe
fear.
maybe I need to
But do it when it
rethink
comes to you.
that.
Do it when it comes to you.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
force
I'm
it.
not feeling 2023. And
Okay.
I guess the segues into now that we know that, talking about
hmm
2022 in general.
hmm
I feel like my theme of 2022 looking back, in a word, change.
Oh, yeah.
A lot changed this year.
hmm
Something shifted. But yeah, I've been reflecting on ever since I graduated, like college, obviously. It's interesting
hmm
because when you go, like obviously school is kind of like mandated from the time you're 5 to the time you're 18.
Yep.
Um, so it's like 12, 13 years that you're in school. And then what most people do is they just go straight into another 4 years of schooling.
hmm
Which now that I've done it is kind of sick and twisted and demented, actually, how we
Whew.
do that and how we
Yeah.
say, okay, 18-year-old, make a decision about what you want to do for the rest of your life, actually.
Yeah.
And I was literally
But
just talking to my
now
friend Corey about this. I knew nothing at 18. Like, I
I
knew
had
nothing.
just bleached my hair. I killed so many brain cells, guys, and you asked me to make the biggest decision of my life.
No, because and Corey was talking about how he went into college thinking he was going to be one thing, and then now at the end of his college experience, he's going to be like something completely different, and it feels like a betrayal to your past self, which sometimes I do feel like I betray my past self sometimes, but then like inner child, past self, all that kind of stuff, we also need to like realize, I feel like sometimes your past self didn't know shit about shit.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And like there needs to be like it's so painful to like let go of that expectation, and you feel like there's like a pain in that, but it's also like okay, like that's good actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's good that you
Yeah.
like realized that you didn't like something, like that you didn't want to be a lawyer or you didn't want to be a physicist. Like it's good you realize that now.
Oh
And like
yeah.
it's weird that we feel such like a betrayal. Like I'm not like,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, there was a time in my life where I thought I wanted to be like one of those people who's like playing a principal role on Broadway 8 times a week.
Right.
And now I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Sounds
Great thing to
hard
realize.
and like not what
Sounds
I want to
really
do.
hard.
Like I don't want to be
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I mean, like I would say if like the right project came along, like when people talk to me about it now, but like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be in like another jukebox musical of,
Fair enough.
like I don't want to be in the
Fair
Neil
enough.
Diamond jukebox musical. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure people are doing amazing work in it, but like
The
I
Britney
don't
Spears jukebox musical, though, I will sign up for the
know.
rest of my life.
Yeah, I would do 30 shows a week of that
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But like
Glad you agree.
I don't want to be in that like or the Jim Steinman Jukebox musical Bat Out of Hell, 30 shows a week for the rest of my life as well. But like I
Good.
don't know.
Good.
It's just like you just like learn what you actually want to do as you go on.
Mhm.
And so it's not a betrayal to like just pivot in a way, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it's weird
No.
because sometimes you battle the thing of like, oh, am I just giving up? But no, you're just like, honestly, do you ever have a hard time like trusting yourself that you're making like the right decision?
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I totally get I feel like part of that is also because the way, I don't know, the way we are brought up and the way school kind of teaches you how to be, it's very much like you need to be one thing. Like you
Yes.
are a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you can also do tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to choose sometimes.
And it's hard now
Like
because especially in like Becca, we want to do like theater, entertainment, like
mhm.
whatever. But like something in that realm. And now it's like you kind of have to do a bunch of different things
Yeah. And I
in
love
that
that.
industry. Yes, and I
Right.
like it too. But it's like you
Hmm.
can't just be like an actor anymore.
Yeah, no, it's not
You
cutting
can't
it.
just be a singer. Like that's like what
You're
do you mean?
gonna you're gonna have to at least have a podcast for
Like you're
sure.
gonna yeah,
So
exactly. Like you're
we
gonna
have our bases covered.
yeah. But it's
Obviously.
like if you want to be a performer, like can you write your own stuff?
Yeah.
Can you sing? Can you like all this other stuff goes into it now. And
Yeah.
which is good in some ways, not good in other ways. And so but yeah, it's such an interesting like thing. Like it's two things coming together, which I'm starting to realize are like a lot of the time enemies in my life, like nostalgia, like the past, and like expectation. Like the fact that those
Hmm.
two things like combine to create like such like anxiety in your internal self is like a
Yeah.
scary thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, 2022
Whoa.
for me, to get back to that,
Yeah, yeah.
was just like it's just immense change because you live your whole life like as like a student. And I lived my whole life honestly being defined by like my mostly by my academic achievement. I feel like I started to like release myself from that a little bit towards the end of my academic career, but it was still very much there. I still worked very hard in like my
Hmm.
classes in college and stuff. I graduated with like um I hope this doesn't sound douchey, but like I graduated with a good GPA, but I just say it to like think like lately I've been thinking like, so what did I do that for? Like because like it mattered to me so much 5 months ago that I got an A in all my classes my last semester of college, but now I'm just like, so what do I get for that?
Yeah. No, I was thinking about this actually today because
Uh-huh.
I was talking to another Pitt graduate, I don't even know, who was a customer. And
Legend.
they were like, for some reason they asked, did you graduate with honors? And I was like, oh baby, with highest.
Summa.
Yeah, summa actually, summa cum laude. And they were like, nice, me too. And I was like, so why does it matter that to that guy? But also, it matters to me
Yeah.
so much actually that
Yeah.
I did have to tell him, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't get anything for that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Applying for grad school, like, great,
Yeah.
but other than that, it doesn't really matter in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting.
Crazy.
It's an interesting thing. But now that
Mm,
I'm like, it's so interesting because now that I'm like not like a student anymore, it's just like, it's interesting 'cause it's like, what do I do now? It's like
yeah.
that's kind of the fucked up thing also about like how we do schooling is that we like let people be this thing for literally like 20 years of their life and then like a quarter of most people's lives
Mm-hmm.
if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we go, okay, well, do
Good
something else.
luck. Have fun.
Find something else to do right now, or
Yeah.
else you'll be out on the street, you'll starve, and
Mhm.
then you'll die.
Yep.
Like that. Like, what
Boom.
the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, that's
That was kind of tough.
crazy. It
Yeah.
escalates so quickly in the literalist, like the realest way I can say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah. And so I feel like 2022 was kind of just confronting that change. Um, and so yeah, it's just, and I'm still getting kind of used to the whole change thing. And I think it will still be like a kind of 2023 will kind of be more about learning how to like cope with it
Mm-hmm.
and kind of hopefully move towards not the end of the change. There is no end to change really, but like kind of going towards the next phase, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Lovely. So do you have like a specific is like adapting your kind of resolution? Do you set
No,
resolutions
not
really?
really. I have some
Okay.
like I have some other kind of something else I didn't notice in 2022 is that I kind of like when you're faced with adversity, you have a couple of different options, right? And so in like a binary way, it's like you can either like handle it. Well, I guess not in a binary way, but like you can handle it, you can complain about it, you can blah blah blah. And so most of the time I handle things, but I feel like this year I really allowed myself to like be so negative about the circumstances I was facing.
Mm,
And I'm not like generally a very negative person. And I feel like I'm getting towards the end of it where I'm like, okay, I have to find some different way to operate
yeah.
because like I just don't want to be like I just don't thrive off negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody does, and like
Yeah.
especially me, I do not thrive off of negativity.
Especially
Um,
beings of light.
yes, but I've just felt like so negative lately. And I think it is just a reflection of like because I don't know where I'm going. And so like I have like this internal anxiety about that. And so I've
Mm-hmm.
just been externalizing it as like negative energy. Um
Quinn,
and so
I totally get this.
yeah,
I
and
feel like
so
part of me has soured a little
yes.
bit.
Yeah, and I think it does like there is definitely a death of innocence kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a
Yeah.
part of your 20s. I mean, I've talked about like on this podcast how I feel like every time I think about being a child, I get like really upset. Like because it's like it sucks because
Yeah.
like when they say like and it sucks like as 22-year-olds to be like saying this, but like there is some truth to like saying like youth is wasted on the young because it's like
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to appreciate it when you don't know how to appreciate being a 5-year-old when you're 5 years old.
Literally.
And like as
Yep.
a 22-year-old, I don't know how to appreciate being a 22-year-old really. Like
Mm-hmm.
which is fucked to say. And so maybe
Yeah.
stepping into that more in 2023 can be a little bit of a
Yeah.
goal. But one specific kind of resolution that I have come up to deal with that is kind of like instead of like getting like negative about like when I'm faced with a situation, like
Mm-hmm.
being negative about it isn't gonna like help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like today, for example, I had to pick my aunt up for the airport because she came into town, and I had an appointment, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna. And so she was late coming out of the airport because
Mm-hmm.
whatever circumstance, and I was like, oh well, now I'm gonna miss this appointment, and it was like why am I being so negative about something that's not like so far out of my control?
Yeah.
And so I think a tool I'm going to try to use in the new year to like help combat negativity is gratitude. And so
Yes.
I think I want to find things because I always find that gratitude makes me feel better. And I really like
Mm-hmm.
expressing gratitude and like doing that. And So I think that's kind of a practice I want to put into motion this year is instead of like going too negative, which I feel like I have defaulted to a lot this year, and which is quite easy to default to just in the grand scheme of things. I want to try to like pick out something I'm grateful for instead and let that kind of be the narrative as opposed to negativity.
I love that, Quinn.
Yeah.
I think you're the smartest person that's ever lived.
I think
And I'm
that
so
sometimes
grateful to have
too.
you.
And then other times I think I'm literally the dumbest person to ever walk the earth. I think
I'm
I'm the
so
dumbest
grateful
person
for
to
your
ever drag my knuckles across the earth.
drag my knuckles.
Like the basic little ape,
Nor,
like the basic
nor.
little ape I am at the end of the day.
Stop. Be grateful. Be grateful.
Be grateful, be grateful. I'm grateful for my big brain and I'm grateful for my long arms that sometimes drag on the ground when I walk.
I developed prefrontal cortex.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's kind of like what I think. Like big themes of 2023, gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of the
Love it.
main theme of 2023 going into it now.
I'm hopping on board with you, Quinn.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I definitely, like I said, I feel like part of myself has soured,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know, like I think I'm a nice person,
Uh-huh.
but I remember one time my old roommate Anna said to me, she was like, I was walking down the street and I was like, man, I wish I could be as happy and nice as Becca. And I was like, oh my
Oh.
gosh, how meaningful.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten away from the part of me that, and it probably is like also an innocence thing, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely, I mean, we as a world have gone through so much, like a
Yes.
whole ass
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, so much,
Yeah.
like so much shit. I spend so much time on TikTok, like wasting my brain away.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more present and I want to be more grateful
Mm-hmm.
and I want to obey the time limits I set for the apps on my phone. And I want to look
Read
up
me,
and
why
I
don't
want to
you?
like it's both of us.
Uh-huh.
Both.
Bofa.
Um and I want to like let myself be happy. Cuz
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm like I don't know, especially at work, especially now dealing with the demons. I'm like,
Yes.
man, I really was treated badly by that person. I like want to be angry. But it's like, okay, you can do that and you can get angry,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of wasted on someone who also doesn't care. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so much easier just to be like, whatever. That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
And it's also something if you didn't confront it in the moment, well, now the moment's passed.
Exactly. Like, why
And it's
dwell?
like that's something else. Like that's something else in my life I need to work on, like saying when I'm like upset and uncomfortable and like actually
Hmm.
advocating for myself in those moments
Right.
in like a constructive way and not in a way where I'm like blowing up because I've just had so much because that's the other
Hmm.
negative part of doing that. But like you can't expect to be like you can't expect to be like, "Oh, hey, this thing you did 6 months ago actually really hurt my feelings."
Yeah,
And have the
that's
person
crazy.
be like, I'm
Responsive
sorry.
to
Like
that.
that's a
Yeah.
crazy thing to ask of somebody, even if they were a huge asshole to you. And
Right.
so, like, it just the responsibility ultimately falls on you
Hmm.
to deal with it, and that's
Hmm.
also part of life. Something I said today is like, it sucks because sometimes things happen to you that are so outside of your control, but they're ultimately still your responsibility to deal with.
Literally.
Like, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Sometimes when my blood sugar goes high, I want to throw away Chloe. I want to throw her away.
Yeah. You're like, shut
And
up.
listen, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Her fucking beeping. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. But yeah, this like shitty thing happened, but I am alive and I get
Yeah.
to deal with it. Like, oh
Mhm.
my God, what a gift, right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I said to myself today when I was like frustrated about like being late to my appointment, which ultimately I was only 5 minutes late for, which is another thing. Sometimes you
Right.
make these like huge things up in your head and then you
It's
were only
totally
5 minutes
fine.
late for your appointment.
Like it's
Like,
totally fine. Exactly.
um, but that's the other thing is sometimes like Chloe, when she's screaming at you to like
Yeah.
fix your blood sugar is only trying to
Hmm.
help you. But like that's
Exactly.
another thing about being in like the negative space is that when people are trying to help you, your like
You
guards are
can't.
so up that you can't
Yep.
accept it, and you get mad at somebody for like suggesting that you should do something differently from how you're doing it.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
which I've definitely felt like whenever anybody editorializes on my life, I'm like, ugh, come off it, man.
How
But also like,
dare.
yeah, like I need a lot of help right now. Like,
Yeah, you're probably right.
I need a lot of help right now, and they're probably right, and that's probably what I'm actually upset with. That like
Hmm.
somebody actually knows something about my life that maybe I don't know.
That's also a
Um,
thing. I think like cuz and we joke about this all the time. We don't want to be wrong.
oh yeah.
So it's like admitting like that you can do something to like help yourself
Mm-hmm.
and like you can like brush away just being like upset is so it like requires action of your brain and like some sort of admittance that like you maybe were wrong about something.
Yeah, you have to be vulnerable. You have to be
Yeah.
vulnerable. And
Yep.
like you have to say I fucked up here. And
Yep.
also something I realized today is also that like or something that I was talking about today is that it's interesting because like I'll sit and like my friend today was like, I don't know where to start. Like he was talking about something and he was like, I don't know where to start.
Hmm.
And one of the best pieces of advice I ever received, I was sitting in my freshman year biology class in high school.
Oh.
And my biology teacher says, well, if you don't know where to start, just start somewhere.
Oh. Oh my God.
Like kind of a simple thing, but like he just meant that like when you like are like if you have to start a paper for school or something and
Hmm.
you're like, oh, well, what am I going to write about? Like getting caught up in that just paralyzes you. And you're like, you get
Exactly.
stuck in this feedback loop where you can't start it. Like physically, you can't start it because you're just having this such a maladaptive pattern where it's like, oh, I don't have anything to say. I don't, but like if you just started it, and then literally if 2 seconds later you make a mistake and you're like, oh, that didn't work, then at least you have some kind of momentum to like keep going. Whereas like
Yeah.
otherwise you're just sitting there like paralyzed in fear. Like
Yep.
then I said, sometimes we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
Like, we're so
Because we're
afraid of
scared of it.
failure, we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to try and then fail.
Hmm.
And it's like, why the fuck not? Like, why do we like hold ourselves back so much? Like,
Literally.
it's like fear. It comes down to fear ultimately, I feel. But like, I don't know. It's like,
No, I think you're right.
and it's also like, I get mad because it's like, I've never like I wrote it. I was reading back my journals yesterday, and I like wrote like I've brought myself through like most things, and I wrote a joke, and I was like everything. Some people would argue. But like, why don't I trust myself to like do
Yep.
it? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy to think of how many things like because like Becca and I I have a question about like top moments of the year, but like we both graduated college this year, no
Hmm.
small feat,
Yeah.
especially with a whole ass pandemic right in the middle. Um,
Literally.
And
Mostly.
so, like, the fact that we did that is amazing. And, like, we did that. But, like, it's fucked up because, like, you don't even give yourself, like, the proper credit for it. And you don't give
Yeah.
yourself, like, oh, I did that. Like, you don't give yourself that moment almost. Um,
Yeah.
and, like, there's something. And, but, like, I graduated college. I did all that, but I don't trust myself to, like, I don't know, figure out what comes next, like something big like that. Or I don't trust myself to, like,
Hmm.
write out an idea I have or like all that stuff. Like it's weird
Hmm.
how you
Yeah.
constantly have to like prove things to yourself almost.
It is fascinating
Hmm.
how our like egos work and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh
but
my
I
God.
like that you said presence as well because that is also a huge part of my personal like and
Goals.
I think expressing gratitude will be a big part of that because it causes you
Hmm.
to be a little bit more present,
It
you
brings you
know.
to the moment.
Like it
Yeah.
brings you to the moment. Like
Hmm.
for instance, today when my aunt's like having a hard time getting out of the airport and I'm afraid of being late to this appointment, my aunt's in town. I love my aunt. I'm
Yeah.
so happy she's here. My cousin's here as well, who I don't get to spend much time with.
Hmm.
And so I'm grateful that they're here and that I get to have this time with my family. And that's something I'm grateful for. And it was like that switch. And also another thing I said is like, okay, no matter if I go to this appointment today or not, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like my life isn't gonna end. Like what?
Yeah.
Like no.
Hmm.
And
No,
so
yeah. Overthinking
um
is like so,
yeah,
and that is so not being present. Overthinking
mhm.
is the future and what if, what if, what if, what
Or the
if, but it's
past.
like, or the past. So true. Even worse. Oh,
Think
guys,
about the
don't.
past. Oh, I need to write something down actually. I'm leaving a hint in the podcast. I'm writing something down.
The past.
The past. Oh, we'll talk about the past in about 3 months' time. We'll talk about her. And it won't be in a positive way.
Oh
Let's
my
just say
God.
that.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Remain grateful though. Remain
Yeah, remain
grateful.
grateful for her. Guys, remain grateful. Remain grateful. Guys, come on. Anyway.
Ah,
Um, but yeah.
this has been so deeply philosophical.
Babe, it's
Fuck.
A Sagittarius is on the mic. Like it's
Oh
always
my
gonna be
God.
that.
Yeah, you're so right. A Sagittarius rising is here
Something about
as
me is I'm
well.
always, oh my God, you're Sagittarius rising too. Like
Yeah,
something about me
yeah.
is that I'm always thinking.
The
Um,
front of my brain is always thinking, and my personality is always thinking.
um, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but being more present, I'm really excited. I
Hmm.
find mindfulness is a really nice way. I've been getting back into like my meditation practice since being home, which I don't know
Mm,
why. I like it's also weird how we like let go of things that are good for us when we're in like a time of change. Like why
hmm.
didn't I like when I was in Europe experiencing all this like new stuff, why didn't I like carve out time to like be mind like to practice mindfulness every day?
Hmm.
Because like
Yeah.
honestly, like having a mindfulness practice has helped me so much in my life to be able to like step have techniques and like step back and say like take a deep breath and say, okay, I can do this. Like
Hmm.
there were times I used that, but honest, like as I kept going, it just kept waning and waning and waning as I got further from actually practicing. And
Mm.
so it's probably part of the reason why I felt so like burned out and like shitty and like beat up a little bit by the end of it is because like
You were
I was
disconnected.
so disconnected and I'd like so lost the plot a little bit.
Yeah.
Um that you just it's weird how you like abandon those things that like help you, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like taking yourself off like your meds or something. Like
Oh,
it's like that.
not great.
As close to as
Yeah.
somebody who's not medicated for anything, like it like that's an analogy I can use, not to
Yeah.
misappropriate or anything, but like, you
No,
know,
yeah.
anything
Something
that
that,
helps you kind of cope with whatever life you're living, like it's like taking that out.
hmm.
And then somehow still expecting to be like successful. Like it's a weird way of
Yeah.
thinking sometimes.
No, I totally, yeah. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I love meditating and
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it enough.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think part of that is just, well, lately, like laziness.
Uh-huh.
It's so much easier not to do things than to do them.
Yeah. Thinking about doing things, I'm so good at actually
Yeah.
doing things.
Whoa. It's a
Whoa.
lot. A lot you're asking.
You're telling me that I have to do that actually? No, no, no,
Nor are you by date.
no.
Mm, but that makes another one of my goals action this year.
Oh my God, Becca, we are like aligned. We are aligned actually. I was like, I
And
need to
I'm not
write that
surprised. I'm
down.
not surprised actually.
Um,
Yeah. I feel like,
Crazy.
yeah. I just I think we recently talked about how like creative projects have a shelf life, right?
Uh-huh.
Because like if
I've
you
been
just
thinking
think
about
and
that
think and
literally
think,
since you said it. I've been thinking about that literally since you said it.
me too, but what have I still not done? Any of my
Done
ideas.
anything, done literally. Becca, I will tell you that literally after you said that, I was like, oh, I should do something. And then what did I do instead? Look at my phone.
Nothing. Nope.
Like, what the
Bro.
fuck? Like, what the fuck, actually?
No, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's like really just getting the fuck off of my phone is gonna be so good
No, when
for
Phoebe
me.
Bridgers said one day I'm gonna look up from my phone and I'm gonna see my life, like she's
Oh,
she's sick. She's sick for that, actually.
she's twisted, and I'm gonna text her about it.
Ma'am, you need this.
You had to say it again, I heard. Yeah.
I heard you wanted to hit that again for emphasis.
Did you see her chicken shop date?
Oh no, I didn't. I saw she disavowed cats, which made a lot of people mad.
because I think they expected, lesbianism, cats. So it's so interconnected there.
I also see that people are thinking she's romantically connected with Bo Burnham.
I've heard the rumors.
I don't know. I'm not that deep into Farb culture. I'm a Punisher enjoyer. But
I'll have to text her about it. I'll let you guys know.
I did put some questions, but then we just got off on our little merry way, talking about our
Yeah,
lives.
it happened so
So we kind of
naturally.
covered resolutions. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
maybe now we'll turn to some more like positive things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did want this to be a little bit positive, but then Becca and I came in with a very like, not negative. Because I feel like we're
It was just,
contemplating on negativity.
yeah, it was contemplative.
But anyway, so what are I want to know what are some of your best moments from this year?
I was
And
thinking about this
maybe
morning.
we'll surprise we'll kind of combine what are some of your best moments? What are some things you're most proud of from this year?
Oh, okay,
Oh
okay,
my God, I
cool.
just thought of an amazing one for you actually.
Oh, for me?
Yes.
What is it?
The show Amelia, honestly, Becca
Yeah.
costume designed this show at our university. And guys, she
It was good.
literally chewed so hard. She ate that. It was
Thank
honestly
you, girl.
crazy. The whole production was great. The script is the script of Amelia, not to my taste, to be completely honest, but
It's a little Democrat,
yeah,
if you will.
it's a little bit, we are feminists. In this house, we believe science is real, Black Lives Matter, a shrimp
A
fried this
shrimp fried
rice.
this rice. The word bed
The
looks like
word
the word
bed is
bed.
shaped like a bed.
Like a bed.
Anyway, but honestly, I sometimes when the words were failing, Becca's costumes were always succeeding and
Thank
always
you.
no, and I think
Yeah.
about how you placed periwinkle on the stand list entrant periwinkle.
Yeah, and
Oh,
all
isn't
the
it lilac
Amelias.
periwinkle? Isn't it like that whole oeuvre of kind of that whole
Oh
kind
yeah.
of family of hues? And that was so effective because the Amelias were shrouded in a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
lavender,
Yep. Yep.
somewhere
So
twixt
powerful.
lavender and periwinkle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
So
just
powerful.
yeah. And
Well, thank
honestly, all the other
you.
stuff in the show, the stuff you built, and then the fact that you worked with people to build them at your small age, such an achievement,
Thank
and such
you.
something you should be proud of.
Thank
Um,
you.
and that reminded me of another thing I wanted to say on the whole Anna comment that you made about Anna liking how you're nice and walking down the street and appreciative and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so often we sometimes it's you shouldn't base your conception off you shouldn't base your self-conception off the thoughts of others, and you shouldn't rely on
Yeah.
others for your own self-conception. But then there's also
Mm-hmm.
this kind of dichotomy where sometimes people do see us in a way that we don't see ourselves.
Right.
And sometimes seeing ourselves through other people's eyes can be so helpful for our own self-image.
Oh, definitely. So I really appreciate those comments from you.
Yeah, and so Becca, one thing I'm Becca should be proud of off the bat, Amelia.
Thank
And
you.
that was early in the
Aw.
year, relatively.
Yeah. No, I
First
was
half.
definitely gonna mention that. It was a big part of my year. It was really affirming when people who I respect in the department were coming up to me and being like, "You've done amazing."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Whoa." And it
Mm-hmm.
was very much, and not that I wasn't proud of the drag seat or anything,
Oh yeah.
but I think when I it kind of was deciding what would I want to study more, especially thinking about grad school.
Uh-huh.
I was like, something about directing does not I feel like I would have to be inspired by something immediately. I'm not inspired by directing and then could direct anything. Whereas I feel like
I feel the
I
same way about it.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
I would need to love and have a vision already for something and then do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas costume design, you could hand me anything, any script, and I would be like, let's do it.
You see
You
the
know?
people in the costumes, right?
Yeah. It just I think there's more of a spark there.
Uh-huh.
Um and it was very affirming for me this year when I don't know, that show went really well
Mm-hmm.
and I was proud of it.
And it's also it was
And
all period, which something else
yeah. Yep.
crazy to pull
It was
off.
yeah, period, but also like bringing in
Contemporary.
modernity. Yeah, it
Um,
was interesting. But yeah, I did love doing that.
Give
Um,
me some more. What else was Becca proud of?
I was proud of graduating college.
Yes.
I was,
Same.
yes, good job, Quinn. I was proud of going out of the country by
Hmm.
myself for the first time. I had never
Yeah.
flown by myself, and then I was leaving the country for the first time. That was so fun.
Um.
Um, and then I'm proud, even though it's like a part-time job,
Hmm.
I'm so proud I got promoted. Like I'm a really hard worker,
Yeah.
and I proved to myself even in retail, babe, like whatever I do, I'm gonna really
Excel at.
work hard at it. Yeah.
It's
So
just what you
that's
do.
good. It simply is. So it's
Hmm.
good to know about myself. And also, my mom was always, whenever she worked at Dorney Park, the amusement park by her house when she was 16, and she
Hmm.
became the manager of the gift store when
Of
she was
Dorney Park.
16 of Dorney Park of the park, and
The
she had
general
both the
manager.
rights. No, but she like managed the gift shop when she was 16. And it's something I've always respected about her is
Hmm.
how hard she worked. And
Hmm.
like I meet people randomly at Ulta, customers who have like the same job at email address that my mom had.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and I like am like, do you know Julia Hobart? And they're like, she was the best. I love her so much. What a great
Icon,
woman.
icon, icon,
Icon,
icon,
icon.
con.
Exactly. And I feel like I have really made my parents proud this year, which is something
Oh,
I'm proud
oh my
of.
God.
Yeah.
Why
Isn't
am I
that
actually gonna
sweet?
cry? Like,
Don't.
so nice. It's like earnestly so nice. Like I know, like, yeah,
Yeah, they're proud of me, which is good.
yeah.
Ryan, on the other hand, he was pissed off at me so many times this year. I can't even describe. I can't even describe.
Every week.
But
Every week
every
something
week,
new. Tell a hater
actually.
what's new. Um,
Yeah, but those are my main things.
yeah. Oh
Quinn, I'm so curious of what you're proud of.
my
I
gosh.
have a big one for you.
What is it?
It's gonna
Like
be
a
the
present on
obvious
Christmas
one.
Day.
It's gonna be the obvious one, which is freaking exploring the world
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
bursting out of the bubbles and just be like meeting friends wherever you go and
Uh-huh.
just being the greatest person that anyone could ever meet off the street.
Yeah.
Like what a blessing.
Yeah, yeah. It is like a weird, it's always a weird thing to think about because it's like I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are always like it's always people are like, oh my God, it's so cool that you did that. I'm like, I don't know, it's just kind of become like this thing that I did. But again, it's like not practicing like the thing of like recognizing myself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is like a big fucking thing I did and a big risk I took and like, and I was,
Yeah.
I slayed at it, like,
Yeah, I fear.
and yeah, like there were parts of it that weren't perfect. There were parts of it that sucked. There were parts of it that, didn't live up to my expectations. But there was also like so many things that were so cool and so many things that completely changed how I look at the world. And I am really proud of myself for going and doing it and like figuring it all out. And I'm gonna do something like it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because now that like I have been through it, I'm like now dealing with like the fear of doing it again almost. Which is
Right.
very real. Um, but it's like it again, it's that thing where it's like I can do it. Like I can do it
Yeah.
if I really want to do it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that it's taught me is like you can have what you want. I honestly, I often think
Yes.
I often think about a line from the movie Halloween Town,
Oh, I'm with you already.
said by Agatha Cromwell,
Mm-hmm.
known by her friends and family as Aggie,
Yeah.
played by Debbie Reynolds, the
Yep.
late great. She said magic is about knowing what you want and letting yourself have it. Like what? Like
I'm so glad I heard that as a child.
like that's crazy. Like I didn't
Boom.
even it's one of those things that like stuck with me and then like I haven't watched a Halloween Town movie in 10 years, but like I randomly
Oh.
thought about it like a year or two ago, and I'm like, that's so true. Like, and it's such a
Mhm.
cool way to think about magic because it's like magic is totally real.
Yes. Exactly.
I literally have a pencil case here that says magic is totally real.
Oh my God. Bro, magic is real.
But like, if you think of magic in that context, like it is real.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about also this quote. I don't even know who it's from, but I've been hearing it a lot recently is if you didn't desire something, oh, sorry. If you desire something or you want something, it cannot be out of the realm of possibilities,
Mm.
right? Like you only desire things that are like possible.
Uh-huh.
That is so cool. So like if
Yeah.
you desire something, it can happen and you can do
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah. You can bring it. Maybe that's I want to get into manifesting more this year.
Me
Like speaking things
too.
into existence.
I used to be such in 20 the summer of 2018. I don't know what happened energetically, but I could think about something and it would appear in front of me.
No, because sometimes I do have manifestational abilities. I talked about how I'm a clothing manifester. I
Yeah,
manifested yet another piece of clothing and I actually didn't buy it. And I'm thinking about going back and trying to get it.
I hope you do.
But anyway, I was a little trigger shy because I felt a
Yeah.
little, let's say with me now, poor at the time. um,
Poor. Fucking poor. And that's
but
okay.
as somebody, guys, one thing they don't talk about, being unemployed is all fun and games until you realize you don't have an income.
And you're like, whoa, who did
That's
that?
fucked up, actually. Anyway, um, what were we even talking about? It's getting from my
Yeah,
memory.
your wait,
Things
your
I'm
best
proud of. So
moments.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously the trip I'm so proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen parts of the world that like nobody else I know has seen and
Mm-hmm.
nobody else I know has been to, and I was just like, yeah, I think that might be interesting, and so I went, and it all worked out. And yeah, so I'm really proud of that, obviously. Um, Graduating college was a huge achievement for me. And graduating
Mm-hmm.
college was really nice because I got something from it that I didn't get in high school because I feel like high school I was more focused on what people thought about me and of like getting recognition. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I graduated high school, I did not get that. I felt like
Yeah.
very unceremoniously kind of like pushed aside when I was finishing high school by in like multiple areas of
Oh,
my life. In college, I had the exact opposite effect where I was like, am I getting
good.
too much recognition? Like the pendulum swung the complete other way where I was like having a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of imposter syndrome, being like, do I deserve all this? Because
Aw.
literally, because as you will know, I'm so glad our graduation ceremony like lives on YouTube. That's so fun. But
Yes, loves
I
it.
was asked to both sing a song and give like remarks at our department's graduation.
Yeah,
And
literally.
I got asked to do the song first, and I was like working on it. And then I literally got an email being like, oh, we would like you to speak from the department chair. We would like you to speak at graduation. I was like, oh my God, like, can I even do this? Like, and I was talking to one of my the professor who had asked me to sing. I talked to her about it, and I was like, do you think this is like okay, or should I say no? And she's like, no, like, just take it. Like, people want to hear
Yeah.
from you and like there's a reason you're being asked to do these things and just take it because
Yeah.
like obviously I didn't want our graduation to become like the Quinn show obviously but like
Mm-hmm.
um I don't feel like it was and um but yeah I was really proud that like it was like oh I did something right like a little bit it was affirming
Oh,
in a way
oh,
because it was
definitely.
like I got recognized and that's also something I learned about life is that sometimes to get the thing you're looking for you kind of have to let go of it in a way.
That's a huge thing about manifestation.
Yeah, you kind of just have to like release like the want for it
Mm-hmm.
and then
It'll
it
come
comes
to
to you in a
you.
weird way. Um
Well,
that's
Quinn,
happened to me with a couple of different things in my life.
you definitely should be proud.
Oh.
Your song was beautiful. Your speech was beautiful. I think, yeah, you were the perfect person.
Oh,
So you had to
thank
do it.
you.
Of course.
Um
Aw.
yeah, I'm very proud. What else am I proud of from this year? Oh,
You also
I
had
also
some great performances in some shows,
oh yeah. Well the
even
show
that weird one.
I'm gonna be honest, the show I performed in this year like was not that inspiring to me. And like that was something else I was
But
thinking about. That was something else I was thinking about. because like it's like you can find you don't have to be wholly grateful of like an experience to be grateful for certain parts of it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like I'm not
Yeah.
like wholly grateful for that experience in the
Yeah.
long run, and like sometimes like it will be one of those shows where like I'm like, should I have just like not done it? But then, I'm grateful for like I made a really good friend, at least one really good friend out of it. I have really good
Mhm.
memories from doing it. I have, all this stuff, and like you kind of just have to take that stuff and leave like the bad stuff in the rear view.
Yeah.
But related to that, kind of going on at the same time, is I got a staged reading of a script I wrote this year. Or not this year, but like
Literally.
end of last year. But yeah,
Literally.
I got selected to, have something read publicly, and I got to like rehearse that with people, and like my words got read in front of people, and my friends got to come and see it, and it was really cool because like, and now it's open like this whole other thing where I'm like considering like my writing to be a part of like who I'm gonna be
Your
as like an
lexicon.
artist and like a person in the world. Like I want to
Yeah.
be known as somebody who like writes things.
Yeah.
And so and that wasn't open to me before I took like that class. And I was never like, it was nice because it was one time in my life where I feel like I wasn't looking for something. Like I
Mm.
didn't go into like the class with the goal of like, oh, by the end of the semester I want to write something that will be read.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know that was like a possibility in I didn't know that was a possibility until literally the professor is asking at our literal last class of the semester, "Oh, we want to do this as a reading. Would you like that?"
Mhm.
And then it's like, "Oh my God."
Slay.
Yeah. And then I got to do it, and it was really cool. And it was really
I
fun
have
having
to
people come and see my stuff.
First of all, your play was great. I didn't get to see it read, but I read
Uh-huh.
it. And yeah, I mean, you already know that I think you're like the most talented person alive. But anyway, um I was asked to read for the other play
Uh-huh.
or act in the other play that was being read. It
Uh-huh.
was ultimately fired. But I
Becca
was really
was
excited that I was chosen in
Becca was
the
fired from the
first place.
process. It was so sad,
Yeah.
actually.
And we don't talk about enough how on that first show that you worked on, I also worked on that show.
Oh my God.
I designed the whole floor.
Uh-huh. Which so cool, by the way.
And we don't talk about that enough. I often forget actually,
When the
because
set
I
glowed in
went
the dark, I
to
was like, oh.
re-rehearsals. Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
this is crazy. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm proud of doing the artist way. Like just
Yes,
the fact
Julie
that I did like a
Cameron.
yeah, Julie Cameron.
We love
Um,
you.
just the fact that I like did that and like stuck to something, because like sticking to something is honestly so cool, and it's like nice that it was like contained, because it's like only 12 weeks, but like 12 weeks is a long time to like do something. And to like to actually commit to doing the work of it. And now like I've
Oh yeah,
kept like certain habits up. Like I've journaled every day, not always like on the day, but like from the
that's
time I've
awesome
woken up
though.
to the time I went to sleep, like I have written 3 pages at some point in that cycle.
That's
um
awesome. That's crazy
since I
actually.
started that. So like over 6 months now I've written 3 pages a day.
Oh my God,
um
Quinn.
and so yeah, like that's a huge new thing
That's
that I've done in my
awesome.
life.
I did
um
30 days of yoga with Adrian. And that was so hard to keep up with.
Oh my God. I'm like already like, no, because I've done yoga with Adrian, the first 30-day challenge now for like the past 3 years. And now I'm like, how am I gonna do it? Because I think I'm gonna leave in the middle of it and be in like a different country. And I'm like, my God, how am I gonna do it? But now I'm thinking of that.
Whoa.
Anyway. But yeah, and so I'm like, it's something that's like I feel like everybody's always like, oh, I want to journal, but now I'm like actually doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
like to journal for 6 months, like is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Like, cause I've journaled before, and like just to have those is so cool. But, like the fact that one day I'll be like, the fact that like 10 years from now, even if like I stop this at some point, which like I hope I don't, but like is
Mm-hmm.
within the realm of possibility. Like even if I stop this, I have like 6 months of my life, and interest, and like perhaps some of the most interesting 6 months of life I've like lived. Like I
Fair
have
enough.
it written down, like
Yeah, that is awesome.
from the time that I was living it, and that's a really cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really proud of that. And
That is so
also
cool.
I'm really proud of this podcast. Like
Yes, wait,
I'm
literally.
so proud of this podcast, and it's like it's really given me because sometimes I feel bad about like how little I've like done since like graduating college, but then I'm like,
Sure.
No, like I put in like a lot of work on this podcast, and it's kind of the perfect amount because like I work hard enough on it where I feel like I've like done something. Like each week when I put up
Mm-hmm.
an episode, it's like, oh, I did something.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, I think
and
we
it's
need to appreciate and talk more about Quinn's editing and how truly good it, especially for the gift of the jump scare.
no, I was really trying.
Oh
I
my
was like really,
God.
I was really trying. Like I was earnest. Like at the end of that, I was like, and it's like, did I spend like upwards of 3 hours editing like 12 minutes of footage? Yeah,
And
actually.
it turned out so good.
I did, but like a
It
lot of
was
work goes into it
perfect.
because like Becca and I did like pull behind the curtain. We did 2 takes of each of the scenes, and then like
Mm-hmm.
it would be funny because like Becca would like Becca and I would be like not in
Laugh.
agreement over what scene we both did the best in. And so
Oh.
I literally would just like cut up like the scenes, like most of the scenes in Gift of Jump Scare are 1 take of like me. I tended to do
Mm-hmm.
better in like my first take. Becca tended to do better in her second take. And so I just kept splicing like all the scenes are made
All
up
the
of like my
takes.
first take and Becca's second take. And
Oh
like
my God.
and so like, and then I had to add all the sounds in and like finding all the sounds and stuff. And so but yeah, I was like the gift of the jump scare was a great example. Like sometimes we'll put up episodes and I'll be like, I'm earnestly like very proud of this episode.
Yeah,
Um
as you should be.
and yeah, and even the fact that we've been able to remain consistent, like we've been doing this
Oh yeah.
for 6 months now, same amount of time as I've been doing pages, and we've posted
Oh my
every week.
God.
Like this is
Yeah.
the 31st episode of the podcast. That means we posted two
Over half a
episodes our first
year.
week. Yeah, over half a year. That means we've posted for 30 weeks consistently. And
Wow.
like, isn't that cool? Like that's
That's
something. That's
awesome.
something. Um, and yeah. And it's always nice because like every time I'm like, because Becca and I spend a lot of time on this podcast and like, we could spend the time doing other things. Sometimes it just feels like, and we have a small audience and all this stuff. And sometimes it's just like, because we've been taught that like the only art that's valuable is that which makes money. It kind of fucks with
Right.
you when you only see that like, X amount of people listen to your podcast and it's like, well, what are we doing it for? But then like there'll be times where like we get a Caitlin who like writes in who we don't know,
Literally.
or like when somebody leaves us a review on Apple or like something like that, and it just reaffirms you. It gives you that like thing to like keep going a little bit.
Literally.
Like
Because
there
if
are
we
always
have
little
one fan, that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. And even like we don't even need any fans. Like if we're just having fun making this thing that like people sometimes listen to, cool. Like it doesn't
Literally
have to be
slay.
like the goal of it doesn't have to be like we're the next Joe Rogan experience or Call Her Daddy in terms of
Yeah.
like listenership. Not in
Yeah.
terms of themes. We don't want to be associated with either of those.
No, please, please, please,
Um,
please,
but
please.
like
Don't misconstrue that.
that doesn't have to be the goal. The goal can just be for you and me to make this podcast together and like have fun and have a creative outlet that we can pursue like while
That's
we're
so
doing other
true.
things.
That's so true.
Um and so yeah, I feel really secure in that, and I feel really proud of this podcast, and I feel really proud that I'm building something with somebody I really admire, and
Mm,
somebody who I want to have in my life for literally the rest of it and even after it.
yeah.
Um
Exactly. Right back at you.
Beck and I are gonna be playing so much in heaven, like it's gonna be crazy.
No, we're gonna haunt so many of you. Be
MPJ
scared.
live, MPJ
Be
live in
scared.
heaven. Oh my god,
Watch
be
out. We
crazy.
reveal the secrets of the afterlife.
God. And it'll be funny because the only people there will be people who already know them, so that'll be kind of be the gag, like
Yeah. We'll be like,
that'll be the
guys, have
bit.
you heard?
Um,
So
and so
corny.
yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm proud of.
Yay.
That I can speak on because there is something big that's happened in my life this year that I have not been able to speak on this podcast. And
Yeah.
Becca knows what it is, and
Yeah.
I still can't speak on it, but we will tell you guys one day,
One day.
and it'll be a
Swear.
crazy day. Becca will have to put on her best Diane Sawyer's, Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey, like her best Howard
I
Stern,
just
even maybe. Like I'm so
the
excited for Becca to
craziest
gain that opportunity.
somehow the craziest thing to me is that this also happened to Ryan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, and that's why Ryan and I are connected.
Yeah, somehow, some
I feel
way.
such a connection to him.
Through to me.
I don't even know what he
Spiritual.
looks like really. Um, and I guess like rapid fire, because I did like these questions because they're a little bit
Hmm.
different from like what I usually see when it comes to like
Mhm.
what would you say was the most fun you had this year?
Oh my goodness. I loved obviously going to Barcelona, so fun
Mm-hmm.
there. And then I also loved visiting Macy that first time in August or September or whatever.
Uh-huh.
When I was freshly blonde and like I said, it really changed the way people viewed me, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I had never gotten more male attention in my life at Tequila Cowboy. Let's just say that.
Let's just say that.
That was really
Leave that
fun.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
Mine would probably be either the when I did the twerk contest when I stripped in fucking Fort Lauderdale in front of a bar
Yeah,
full of
hell yeah.
strangers.
Hell
Because that
yeah.
was fun. Or when I went clubbing in Berlin that one night with all those strange, not strange. I liked some of them, but like the
Hmm.
middle-aged kind of men,
Right.
and not middle-aged, like 30s. But yeah, and then I like broke away from them, and I was just like having fun by myself, like dancing, but
Yeah,
like also
that's
together with
awesome.
people because like the music is kind of what brought us together and stuff. But
Slay.
yeah, I think of that very fondly. And so yeah,
That's
and
sick.
then what
Oh
was
wait,
the
my
oh
pity party was also really fun.
the pity party? Oh my God, your pity
Yeah,
party was fun.
I loved my pity party.
Last time Becca and I made out, you change that
Oh
soon.
my God, literally. I need to kiss you soon. Damn.
And then what was the most beautiful thing you saw this year, would you say?
OMG. There's been so much. Um, wow, that's hard. I mean, I guess like since I used to work when I was working at Starbucks, I worked so early in the morning and
Mm-hmm.
also on Tuesdays when I do shipment for Ulta. Um, I have seen a lot of sunsets or sunrises, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I don't take for granted. And also, I've always been obsessed with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like I have seen a lot of good views of her lately
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Yeah.
So celestial bodies, basically. I just am eternally grateful for them.
We are like so connected today, Becca. Like, I don't know what it is, but my answer was literally going to be when, well, toss up again, because I can
Uh-huh.
never pick just one thing. But honestly, when I was in Berlin and I took like a walking tour of the city and in, we ended in Paris Square, which is where they have Brandenburg Gate.
Mm,
And the sun sets behind Brandenburg Gate. And so on like one side, you had like the sun setting behind Brandenburg Gate and like sending all these cool rays through the gate and stuff.
mm-hmm.
And then it had rained that afternoon. And so the sun had come back out and there was
Mm.
a rainbow on the other side of the square.
Oh my
And it was literally just beautiful.
God.
It was one of those times where you just like stand somewhere and like just look around and take pictures. And um I'm so glad I
Oh,
have like
I
pictures of
love
that. And then
rainbows.
also when I saw the Eiffel Tower at sunset and I could see the sunset on one side and like see all the cool colors. And then literally on the other side, I could see the moon like physically rise over the horizon, which was like so cool.
Bro, whenever I see the
Um
moon, I physically yell, I love this bitch.
I
Like I
love
can't
you,
not.
bitch.
Also, okay, rainbows made me think of on my birthday, it rained
Mm,
and we went to this restaurant. And when I came out of the restaurant, I really wanted to see a rainbow. And I was like, dang, there's no rainbow. A month later, I went to that restaurant. And when I came out, there was a double rainbow in the sky.
what across
And
the
I was
sky.
like, oh my God. Double rainbow? Like,
Literally.
wow, what a like so
Little Willy.
cool.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally, my dad. Anyway,
um yeah.
yeah.
I think we did a really good job. The other thing I do want to put out there,
Uh-huh.
since I
Uh-huh.
did say the thing about the writing,
Yeah.
is that I want writing to become more a part of my life. I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to devise like a practice. Another great thing for a comment corner. Guys, I'm asking you for advice. This is so rare
Whoa,
actually.
prompts.
But I really want to do like I want to have like a consistent writing practice. And so I'm trying to come up with a way to kind of do it like the pages, because something I think is so genius about the pages is that it's just 3 a day and there's that limit on it. So I want to do something like that, but with like writing. And Becca knows this one idea that I've been percolating on with my writing. And so I think that's going to be kind of like derivative of that. And so I'm trying to get like a practice started with that. And so I want that to stay here in perpetuity because it's kind of like our version of like writing our resolutions down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and then we can like revisit this.
That's gonna be so cool.
This time next year,
Oh,
we'll have like,
we'll see.
we'll be able to listen and be like, oh my God, we said
And then
that.
we'll be on our like 80th episode.
Yeah. Oh my
Holy
God.
crap.
Oh my God.
Wow.
We're gonna have to come up with 100th episode special. What?
Oh my God.
Live in Sri
Caitlin, I hope you're still
Lanka.
watching.
Caitlin, by then, Caitlin, you gotta stick with us.
You
You gotta
have
ride with us into the dawn.
you will have had to have been on the podcast at that point.
Yeah.
Caitlin.
Goal for next year. Get Caitlin.
Go on the podcast.
Book her.
Caitlin, tap in.
But yeah. And
Wow.
so yeah, I couldn't think of a better project to be taking into 2023 than Make the Pixie Jump
Mm,
Scare.
exactly.
And yeah, I'm
Oh,
so
I love you so
happy
much.
doing this. Yeah, I love you too. And yeah. But with that being said, it takes just a small little break, and we'll be right back to get into our segments.
Yay!
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh. Okay. So,
Makeister.
guys.
Mahoney.
Okay. So here we are back again with our, of course, segments of the week that we do every week, no matter what.
Yeah.
So for last week, it's fine.
Yeah.
So obviously, guys, we start out with the comment corner, which bada bing, bada boom, we have this week. We're so proud, actually.
We've bullied you guys enough.
Sitting on this one. This one is actually not an email. It is an Apple podcast review, which we encourage you guys to make.
Yes.
It's actually needed.
Yeah.
We have 7 ratings so far. Yeah. Governmental mandate, I heard, actually. So we are at a 5 out of 5, which is great standing. And we have this review from user Ectoplasmatic. Oh, wow.
Which, first of all, you better not be a cunty ass iTunes username when I get back. This person obviously defied those orders.
Literally. So you slayed. And then you slayed with your review, which is subject line love. Body. Funny, genius, amazing. Love you guys. And to that I say, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, same to you.
So much, actually.
And guys, again, comment corners can be so simple.
Literally.
You could send us like a literal sentence thought, and Becca and I are gonna hyperanalyze that.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
What do they mean by this?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, hyperplasmic, cypersonic. We love you here, and it's very reminiscent. It's very reminiscent of the last review we read, which is like super hot ultra serve.
Yeah. Perfect.
Like you could say that.
Said. Yeah.
You could literally write us like novels, or you could do that, and either we're just like we're so appreciative, actually. However you want to express your love to us, we are. Maybe draw a picture.
Accepting.
What if we got fan art?
Oh my God! Please. Should we make a PO box? Fine. Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put
Another
it in Philly
expense.
between us. Yeah. $12 a month for rent on your PO box. Anyway. Yeah, but we couldn't thank you guys enough. Keep rating us. We do appreciate it every time because we have good ratings, so that's really nice. Thank you guys.
Yes.
But that does send us into our next segment. So of course, we have to provide our jump scares of the week. So this is anything that made Quinn and I shiver from anus to top. And made us fear, made us sad, made us angry. Maybe we're trying not to be that anymore.
Yes.
But is anything really tough for us?
Next week.
Yeah. Whoa. So I'm curious, Quinn, what was your jump scare of the week this week?
My jump scare, honestly, this week was The anticipation of going to the dentist.
Was that your appointment?
Yes, my mysterious appointment,
I
which I talked
feared.
about, which I did not want to spoil because I knew it was going to be this.
Yep. I feared.
Was a dentist appointment. And the thing about the dentist appointment is, did I tell the story of how my dad got my wisdom tooth procedure canceled?
What?
Are we all up to speed on that?
No, what the hell?
Guys, I'll tell the full story one day. But my dad basically ended up getting my wisdom tooth procedure canceled. And literally for
Is that
4 years,
allowed?
he made it so.
Okay.
No, he made it so because he did things that weren't allowed, which was swearing at the office technician.
Oh my gosh.
Dads can't live with him. And so uh
Write that down.
okay, I love my dad.
Brian.
And Brian and Ryan are kind of similar. Has anybody ever noticed that?
Whoa. Hold your
Whoa.
horses.
So anyway,
Mhm.
for 4 years, literally my dentist, who I have a little bit of a crush on, let's be honest.
No, dentists are
Um,
hot. We should talk about
yeah,
it.
no, my dentist is like a DILF dentist.
My dentist looked like Brody Jenner. I had such a crush on him.
Wait, mine kind of does too. I haven't looked
What's
at a
your
picture of
dentist's
Brody Jenner
name?
in a while. Dr. Matt. Definitely don't go to the same dentist.
Wait, but my dentist's name was Dr. Matt. I'm scared right now. Guys, I'm scared right now. I thought there was no way you would say Dr. Matt.
Dr.
Wait,
Matt. Yeah.
I'm actually scared at the moment.
So,
Okay.
oh my
I'm just
God, what
gonna
if
be
he
some Googling.
relocated?
No, what the hell?
No, but I actually developed so much of a crush on him that my ex boyfriend in high school used to go to the same one, and our other friend used to go to the same one because we all live in the same area, obviously. And so we developed this joke where like when he walks in, we would go, "Hi, Dr."
Oh my
And
God,
one
I
time
love
I
it.
saw him in our local supermarket with his children, and I was paralyzed with fear, and I like made sure I did not see him.
Oh, spooky.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to walk the other way now. But anyway, so that was at the beginning of 2021
Okay.
when that whole snafu happened. And I've not been to the dentist since then because I was honestly like first of all, scheduling like a dentist appointment when you're in college and like don't live in the area, so hard.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Sucks.
I was like scared to go back because my dentist just kept talking my ear off. He's like, girl, you need those wisdom teeth out. And I'm like, I know. And I tried my
Ooh.
best, but ultimately my best wasn't good enough. And so I've just been scared to go back to the dentist. But then it's been like 2 years and I'm like, it only gets worse from here. And so I was like, okay, mom, make me a dentist appointment, please. And so she made me a dentist appointment and I went in and I faced my fears. And it's just always a terrible thing going to the dentist, like having somebody scrape your teeth like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Have
The
you ever
gums,
had a cavity before?
yes.
Yeah.
Several when I was a child, and then one that I actually had to get filled as an adult. I was really
Okay.
just manifesting that wouldn't be my journey today because that's just an annoying thing to have to deal with.
Literally.
Do you know what's weird about my teeth though? Is that fully a like one of like they call them crowns, but one of like the points of my molars. You know how your molar has like 4 points?
Yeah.
One of the crowns of mine, they're called crowns. One of the or cusps, maybe I don't know, called something. But one of those little points fell off of one of my teeth one time when I was
Oh.
eating a salad, like a long time ago. At this point, I've never heard from my dentist about that. Like nobody's ever asked. Like, is there a reason that's missing? Like nobody's ever asked if there's a reason why like one of my teeth is like chipped.
Damn, what the hell?
And I'm like, do they even notice?
Yeah. Do they even
Anyway, it's like, what
care?
am I paying for at this point? Um, but yeah, it actually ended up being better. He was like, "Oh my God,
Good.
your teeth are in actually really good shape." Like after you
Okay.
get like your teeth cleaned,
Mm-hmm.
and then the dentist comes in to kind of like spot check. I'm always like, is he actually like is there actually something left in my teeth, or does he just make it look like there's something left in my teeth to like his job
Yeah.
like means something?
Right.
And so the jury's still out on that one, but
We will find
he was
out.
like, "This is great. You just need to get those wisdom teeth out." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is great news, actually."
What I already knew, been affirmed once again.
And so yeah, so it was a jump scare, but honestly, the anticipation of it was, but that was kind of my intention. I'm like, I'm gonna make this out to be so bad in my mind that when it actually happens, it's not going to be as bad as I made it out to be.
Hey, expect the worst.
Wait, I kind of
Even though
hacked. Wait, I kind of hacked into the game frame there. That was
anxiety
my jump
hack.
scare.
I did have to Google it, and my Dr. Matt is Dr. Matt. So close to
That's
Bears,
too
actually.
close, actually. I
Wow.
kind of think it's a thing where he has two different families.
I totally believe that. Immediately believe that.
Oh, next special idea.
Call him up.
Becca and I are helping a hot dentist conceal his identity. That writes itself. Anyway,
Literally.
but Becca,
Literally. Yeah.
what was your jump scare this week?
Okay, so I'm a big documentary fan. And on Netflix, I started watching this documentary called, I think it's called Orgasm Incorporated.
Oh,
You watched?
no.
Okay.
It does not
So
right
it's
up my alley,
all,
though.
okay, yeah. It's interesting. It's
I
all
love a
about, and
Netflix docuseries.
oh, perfect. It's
Netflix
actually just one
docuseries.
film,
Oh, really? Netflix?
not a
Is it
series.
Netflix like produced or is it just on
I believe
Netflix?
so. I believe so.
Something about me is that the Netflix Challenger documentary, like the Challenger miniseries, changed my life.
Changed my life. Oh, yeah.
Changed my life
No,
forever.
literally.
Anyway, keep going.
I agree with you. But so it's all about this thing that I had heard of before called, shoot, what was it called? This company, One Taste. That's what it was called. And it was basically a sex cult. And it was crazy because you had to pay so much money to be involved in it.
Uh-huh.
And it was run by this woman who like convinced everyone that like to get all of your desires, you needed to just like publicly orgasm in this group and like be a part of that. Yeah, and it was like very female centric, but in like a twisted way. And it was like
Girl
these
boss
men,
narrative.
yeah, like so girl boss actually. These men, and she
We
did
are
slay in that regard.
feminists.
We aren't. But these men would pay thousands of dollars a month to literally just have like help a woman reach orgasm via
Okay, I'm kind
yeah.
of on board with her, actually.
And so
I think that's something way more men should be investing their time in.
literally. So I get like, but also the women had to pay a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a woman, this is the jump scare part.
Uh-huh.
The women should have been getting paid.
To let the men make them come?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not having to also give money.
Wait, the women had to give
Like,
money to come?
yes.
Maybe that's your God-given right.
Literally. That happens. You don't need no tools.
That's like a Black Mirror episode. What if we had to pay to come?
Literally. But they all like lived in this place together and like there were so many workshops and stuff. And it's I mean, it's truly crazy. It fully was a cult. But the most cultist part is that they had to pay so much money to be involved in it. To
Yeah, there's
do
something
the
dark
most
sided about that.
famously the most free thing is an orgasm.
One of the most free ways you can enjoy yourself.
Entertainment. Yeah. You don't need a
Yeah,
subscription for
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
But
you and your
yeah,
imagination, that should be enough.
boom, literally. But yeah, it just, I don't know, just the thought of having to pay that much money to be involved in something like
Um,
that really
yeah,
bothered
that's
me.
crazy.
Hmm.
Wait, so both the men and the women had to pay.
Yeah, everyone had to pay.
Okay, so there is a parody there at least.
Hmm.
But this actually gave me an idea. I feel like we need to switch like the narrative. Like when we want to shame men, which I believe is something we can still engage in as a society.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like we need to shift the narrative away from like penis size because that's ultimately, first of all, out of someone's control.
Hmm.
Second of all, a form of body shaming. Third of all, just tied back to the patriarchy.
Hmm.
Like, because patriarchal to believe somebody should have a huge, gigantic penis.
Yeah.
And we should shift the shaming of men sexually to be, but can you make a woman come? Because
This is my whole mission.
first
At
of
the end of the
all,
day, this is all I want to do.
first of all, your like something you can actually control, a skill you can like develop.
Mm-hmm.
And most men actually choose not to.
Yep.
Second of all, putting the women's pleasure at the forefront,
Mm-hmm.
specifically anti-patriarchal.
Yep.
And that's all I can think of for right now. But guys, I think that's
I think
something
that
else we're
stands by
bringing in
itself.
2023. Can you
You
make a girl?
defended
But
your
have you ever
argument.
made a girl come? Like I'm gonna be saying that to straight men all year. And will I get
Literally.
punched out? Probably. But I can't not be who I am.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
brave.
you.
This is bruised. This is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
No, if I have sex with someone and I do not orgasm, I will be paid. Trust.
Trust. There's a
Trust.
fee. There's a fee associated with it. Because your actions
Literally.
have consequences. And that's what Becca and I have been preaching on this podcast for such a long time now. Your actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And it's something that especially straight men need to learn.
Yes.
In today's
Reparations,
society.
it's called. Thank you.
So thank you for bringing that to me, Becca.
Of course. Thank you for defending me so fiercely.
I think that's one of the craziest
In the
things
name
we've
of
said on the
justice.
podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll go. But that brings us then to the positive,
Yeah.
So the manic pixie moment is anything that me or Quinn found slayful, serve, bitch yes of this week. And Quinn, I'm just dying to know what that is for you this week.
My manic pixie moment actually is, and I'm not just thinking of one on the spot because I haven't really been able to think of one.
Right.
So my mom on Christmas Eve was like, so guys, I want you to open a gift tonight. And like when it comes to Christmas, I'm a little traditional, and I'm like, well, we need to open gifts tomorrow morning is the thing. And she's like, no, you don't want to have this tonight. And so me and Corey go and we open our gifts, and what did my mom get me but a literal onesie to wear for Christmas? So what do I wear all Christmas Eve and a good proportion of Christmas Day? But my new little flannel Christmas onesie, and my friend Corey was supposed to get a matching one, but the brand Old Navy will say, because I'm honestly not ever interested in partnering with them.
Yeah.
Although maybe I would meet RuPaul and Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh.
Wait. There are other ways I can do that.
So many ways.
We did not get Corey's on time, and so we could have been twinning, but we cannot actually.
Quinn, this is actually crazy because I almost sent you a TikTok of a boy with glasses and a onesie and a blonde girl Christmas dancing to something that was very slayful, and I almost sent it to you and said us, but then I was like, I think that I was high because I was like, I don't know if Quinn will like be offended because I don't know if Quinn has a onesie.
It's the worst time to interact with anyone while you're high.
Yeah.
I actually have two onesies now. I do have a yellow onesie somewhere, which I bought with my own money when I was in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, because I wanted Charlie Brown to have pajamas.
Of course. So I need not have been scared, but I was. So
yeah, and that's what being high can do to you, actually.
Yeah, let's be a lesson.
And so yeah, reefer madness, literally. But Becca, what is your manic pixie moment for this week?
So mine is actually tied into our topic, and that is something I love doing every year, along with my tarot reads. Is also making a vision board for the year. And actually, let me bring mine up.
Oh
this
my
is my 2023
God.
vision board. I've worked so hard. I've done so much.
Again, visual. Oh my God, I'm seeing a lot of things I like on here.
Exactly.
Oh my God, and I love how it's all in your palette. Wait.
Thank you. Exactly. And it becomes my computer background and my phone background for the year. And just naturally, things just happen off the board.
Wait, I might copy you actually.
I hope you do. Like, I love doing this stuff. New York.
Oh my God, is that Carrie Bradshaw on the bottom? Oh my God.
I love the Lily Rose Depp that said, I'm the hottest
Hottest
person
person alive.
And I really want to feel that deep in my bones during 2023. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to bring this to you guys.
Oh my God.
But I really hope you all get on Pinterest and just
Did you just make this on
create.
Pinterest? Or did
I
you pull
did
all the images
Pinterest.
from Pinterest?
All the images are in Pinterest, and then I went into my favorite app, PixArt, and
Yeah.
compiled it all together.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so good.
And I love just
Ah.
listening to music for the year because I also have like a Spotify playlist for the year of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I want to bring out.
Welcome to my
Some
island. Top of the list.
top of the list, Just Fine, Mary J. Blige,
Oh.
Stronger, Britney Spears. I'm just feeling it. I'm just
Yeah.
feeling it for 2023. Just fine, fine, fine. Oh, yeah.
Ah.
So I'm excited for the new year. I'm really
I love
excited.
collaging too, so like that would be really good.
My favorite.
Okay. Well, now I know my
Perfect.
mission for this week. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our show this week, guys. So, Becca, if people want to follow you and see if/when, well, not
Mm-hmm.
if, but like when you complete all your goals on your vision board
Thank
and
you.
you share via social media, because that is
Yeah,
ultimately the only thing it's there for, to validate all of us.
exactly.
Um, where can the people follow you?
Thank you for asking. Well, they can follow me on Instagram at Becca Hobart,
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok, Where Y'all Going During World War III, and then Twitter and Spotify, Beck's Gloss. They can
Uh-huh.
also find me at the bottom of that famous building in New York, kissing Andy Cohen when the ball drops. Quinn, yeah.
I just have
Yeah,
so
what?
many questions about that we can't even get into right now. But
Oh,
anyway.
okay, yeah. We can talk later. I'll email you. Um, Quinn, where can the people keep up with you individually as you check off every single creative goal in 2023?
You can find me at Quinn P. Murphy on Instagram and TikTok. And you can find me at Quinn P. Murphy _ on Twitter. And you can also find me drinking a little cranberry soda from time to time. It's a delicious little drink.
Yeah.
And yeah. But Becca, where can people follow the show if they want to follow us throughout this year and see how much of this we uphold?
Oh my gosh, of course.
Ultimately.
Well, they can follow at Manic Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where we post the podcast at length and also some exclusive content over there if you want to see our beautiful faces.
Mm-hmm.
And then please email in at manicpixiejumpscare@gmail.com. We literally will listen to anything you have to say. And I want to know your New Year's resolutions and
Great
all your
question.
goals. Yep. All your best moments.
Guys, you can also use I listen to this one podcast. They love voice memos. I've sent in voice memos. I
Oh,
haven't appeared on
yeah.
the show yet. But
Okay.
if you want to send us like voice memos on Instagram, that's another great way. If we can like physically
Mm-hmm.
hear you. Beck and I
Love
are both
it.
blessed with the ability to hear, even though you
Mm-hmm.
don't really need it for life. People have shown.
Yeah.
That's just, a good little add-on.
Yeah, why not?
And so we can hear your lovely voices. And so why not just show us what you got? Show us your
Yeah, what
real
you
singing
working
voice at
with.
recess, because I know sometimes it's scary to actually do it in the choir room. So you can show us it at recess.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, you're so right. We're
We're
Quinn.
Quinn. And
We're
we're Becca.
Becca.
And thank
Thank you
you
for
for listening.
listening.
I was like, I'm about to sing.
Oh my God.
Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.